So, welcome to the Wareham Conservation Commission meeting of Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. We have presents. We have Alyssa and her last day on the commission. Carol, Denise, Kwame, Michael, Sandy, and Associate Nicole. Before we start the meeting, I think everybody should be aware of what happened at the selectmen's meetings last night. Nicole was not appointed as a full-time member. They wanted to speak to her personally before they made the appointment, so she continues to be an associate. Kwame was appointed as a to renew his membership, his appointment, but the selectmen changed the policy last night. Anybody who is being appointed or reappointed must, before they get sworn in, complete both the ethics and the open meeting laws and submit their application certification that they've completed both training to the Board of Selectmen's office before they can pick up their form to go down to the clerk to be sworn in. All right.
Okay.
Just to make everybody aware. So Nicole, they're going to invite you to their next meeting, which is the end of June, because they're only meeting twice during a month.
Okay.
All right. We have minutes. Kwame, were you able to get to the minutes for review?
Yes.
Did you pass out the April 20th meeting to the membership? To the
April
commissions?
20th. No, I did not. I'll have that tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I don't think we have any other minutes to consider. Because right now, I finished 420, waiting for Kwame's review and distribution. Mr. Dave Bichette's working on April 25th. Nicole is working on May 4. Kwame is working on May 8th, May 18th. And Michael's working on 6/1. Do I have them all covered?
Yes.
Michael, you're muted. So does anybody have any questions? Okay,
Can't hear you, Mike.
Yeah, you've got no audio. Or your volume's turned way down.
so anyway, so I just wanted to know that's where we stand. So we have a set of minutes of 420 waiting for the review and distribution by Kwame. So anybody else, you think you'll have any minutes for the next meeting?
I should have
Yes.
mine done by then.
Okay,
Same here.
Yes.
okay. All right, great. Is there anybody who would like to do the meeting, the 6:15 minutes?
Think I'm up for that one.
No, you did one on, Carol hasn't done one in a while.
I'll do the 6:15 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. And after that, we should have a staff in the town office to do meetings starting with the new fiscal year being July. All right. Now, public hearing for the last time. Alyssa is going to read the public hearing notice, and thank you very much for your time and commitment to this commission.
It's been fun. Notice of public hearing. Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held on Wednesday, June 15th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. on the notice of intent for Jose Lemos and Ann Lemos Edgerton, care of GAF Engineering, Inc., 266 Main Street, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to construct an addition, retaining wall, and a subsurface roof drainage system located on Assessor's Map 1, lots G18, G19, and 1043-D, 12 Sunset Avenue, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. Is there anybody here representing this project?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Brian Grady with GAF Engineering.
Hi, Brian. Mr. Bichette, your turn.
Okay, so the project site is at 12 Sunset Ave, and the project involves the construction of an addition, the construction of a retaining wall, and the installation of a subsurface roof drain system in the buffer zone to salt marsh and to a coastal bank. A 16 by 20-foot addition with attached covered porch is proposed, approximately 44 feet from the top of the coastal bank. The addition would have a poured concrete foundation. The subsurface drain system would be installed closer to the road, between the addition and the road. And a low retaining wall is also proposed between the addition and the neighboring property. Excuse me. Any excess material generated from the excavation at the site will be removed from the site. Hay bales and silt fence are proposed between the work and the resource areas. I did not receive a DEP file number for this project, so I would recommend we continue the hearing to the next meeting, which is July 6th, for the DEP file number.
Thank you. Brian, is there anything we'd like to add?
No, nothing to add. If I can just respond to any questions or comments that we could address during the continuance.
Thank you, and I do thank you for staking it out. Questions from the commission? I'll start with Alyssa.
The main question I have is, what about those very large trees? I know they're not inside the extension, but do you have any thoughts on those, being damaged with the construction or anything like that that you will have to deal with when and if the time comes?
Well, that large oak tree between the addition and the property line will have to be removed. It is noted on the plan. So unfortunately, that big one will have to go, and I think there's a small tree as well, but that large one would have to go, yes.
Yeah, they're two pretty big, is that really small? I recall it as being pretty big, both of them. Is there any thought to mitigation for that? Drainage, or I know you're putting in the drain and that'll take care of some of the water and all that, I would imagine, but are they just going to put grass there?
It'll be stabilized with grass, maybe some planting beds and some mulch.
Okay, and well, just so you know, there's a new place that has only native plants from what I hear. This is what I've heard, and it's called the let's see, let me just see with my papers here. The Blue Stand Natives. It's a landscape place in Norwell, and might give good ideas for this area.
Yeah, a lot of nurseries are carrying, are stocking more native species now, right?
Yeah. No other questions.
Okay, thank you. Carol,
Dave, could you expand the map? Because I really can't read it. It's too small for me at this point. I'm looking for where the buffer zone actually is.
Sure. So let me just back this off a little bit.
Basically covers the whole lot, yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole lot.
so this line right here is the buffer. So pretty much the entirety of this is in the buffer zone to the coastal bank. This is the 30-foot no activity zone line right here.
Okay. All right. No questions at this time.
Denise?
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the large oak that you're talking about is the one that has the hammock on it. One of those is going, in addition to the smaller tree that was there.
It's holding up the other side of the hammock.
Right, so the oak tree that was on the one end of the hammock is going.
Dave, can you focus in on the 3 trees that are on that light? One I know is the big one, says to be removed. What other tree has to be removed?
There's one right here, basically inside
Yeah.
the footprint of the addition. I think that's pretty much it. I think these trees were the ones that had the hammock, which
Yeah, they
these,
did, but they're staying, is that correct?
Those are
Yeah, there'd be
staying.
no reason for them to go.
Okay,
And
I
there's
just wanted to be
also-
sure about that. And the area between the new addition and the wall, what is it happening in that area? Is it going to be grass? Is it going to be stones? Is it going to be pervious?
Above the retaining wall. I think
Between
it's
the-
kind of a Cape Cod lawn now, and that would just be restored to that same situation.
So it's not going to become concrete or?
No, no.
Okay. that's what
I
just
think
wanted to
she's
be sure.
I think she's asking Brian, between the addition and the retaining wall, that 4 or
Oh.
5 foot wide strip, what's going in there?
Well, that might be lawn. It'll make a convenient walking area. It'll be level to get out to the front, but it's not going to be an impervious surface, no.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Kwame,
No, no questions. Denise took my, my question.
Michael,
Sorry, Kwame.
Off topic, you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No questions, thank you.
Nicole, anything?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Is there anybody in the line that would like to talk to this project, speak to this project? I'm hearing none. We need a motion till July 6th because we're missing DEP report.
Motion to extend till July 6th?
Second,
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Michael, Kwame,
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
Denise, Carol,
yes.
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Sandy, we are continued until July 6th.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you all.
thank you. Now, for the next continued hearings, we have been asked to continue 2 of them. Kevin Perkins at 31 Old Woods Road has requested a continuance, and Wareham MA3 LLC, being Faring Hill Road, has requested a continuance. And for anybody else who might be interested, Wareham PV1, 0 Route 25, has requested to be withdrawn from conservation consideration since they're no longer doing anything inside of the wetlands that we control. So there will be no discussion on any of those 3 that I just mentioned. Continued hearings, we have to formally request the continuance. Kevin Perkins,
I move that we continue his hearing.
Second.
To July 6th.
until
July
July 6th. That's the motion. I heard a second. All in favor? Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol, Denise,
Yes,
Michael, Sandy, it's continued until July 6th. The next hearing, Mr. Bichette, PV1, Wareham PV1 LLC, 0 Route 25. They have requested to be withdrawn because they're no longer working in the wetlands, and we'll need a vote to accept the withdrawal.
I
Any
move that
discussion?
we-
Oh, wait, any discussion? Anybody want to talk about it before we just move on it?
Are you allowing public comment on that point?
No, we are not. This is no longer a hearing for us.
I move that we
Okay.
accept the withdrawal.
second,
second,
I have a motion and second to accept the withdrawal. All in favor, Alyssa,
Yes.
Denise,
yes.
Kwame, Michael, Sandy. Done. It is off our plate. The next hearing, we have a hearing for Hamilton Beach Association. Anybody here for that project?
Kevin Grant.
Thank you. I believe it was continued because we had not received any comments from National Heritage. Okay, Mr. Bichette,
Yes, let me just pull this plan up here. All of a sudden, my computer's in slow motion here, so hold on a moment.
Hey, Carol, I never saw that. I don't remember seeing the Earnhardt poster behind you.
Yeah, you asked me about it before, or somebody did.
Quickly, I forget. Go number 3,
Yes, always and forever.
always and forever.
How many years ago was that, Carol?
2000, I believe, or 2001.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Time goes by quick.
Yep. We'll never think of Daytona without thinking of him.
I know. I still have it on videotape.
I'm not even
Whoa.
a car racing. Wow, that's right. I'm not even a car racing fan. I remember that one. Whew.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Well, Mr. Bichette, you're bringing it up.
Yes, indeed. It's just, I'm getting it right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the project site is at Hamilton Beach, and the project involves the placement of beach nourishment on a coastal beach and within a coastal flood zone at the site. The site is also within the estimated habitat of rare and endangered species. Approximately 42 yards of beach sand is proposed to be placed on the main beach within a washed out area that had been eroded away during a past storm event to replace that lost sand. The source sand would be of a compatible grain size with the existing beach sand. The area is within a coastal flood zone, zoned VE elevation 18 and VE elevation 20. All of the sand would be placed above the mean high tide line. The sand would be dumped and spread out with a small machine to sort of match the existing beach grade on either side of the washed out area. Portions of the upper beach are to be planted with American beach grass to help stabilize the sand on the beach. And once the beach sand has been placed, it is also proposed to install a 5-foot wide, 100-foot long beach access mat. This would provide easier access for handicapped individuals or those with mobility issues, and the mat would be removed seasonally. We do have a DEP file number for this, and as Sandy mentioned, we have also now received comments from Mass Natural Heritage, and they had no negative comments. So I would recommend the issuance of the order of conditions for the project with the standard conditions and the added conditions that the sieve analysis be provided to us prior to the placement of the sand to demonstrate that the source material is compatible with the existing beach sand, and that all of the sand be placed above the mean high tide line.
Kevin, anything to add?
No, nothing.
Were you going to do something about blocking the trail to cars?
We did, that actually was I did look into that, and that was just a trailer to, that had backed in for the snow fence removal.
Okay, thank you. Is
Yep.
there any questions on the board? Alyssa?
Couple of questions. How deep is this sand when you put it down? I know you said
Well,
42 yards.
Yeah, it's
I mean-
only, it's less than a foot. It's only 6 inches. In some places, it's less than that. I mean, you're talking 2 or 3 inches of grade. It's
and
just that open area where that
Right.
step is. It says concrete steps. That's where the bulk majority goes, because those steps were exposed by the runoff.
And there's no way you can get those steps out, so they're not going to, become a hazard in that area? Or,
That there's multiple steps there from 50, 60 years ago. I mean, you're talking they're buried, obviously. That was the top step of what was used to be probably a 4 or 5 foot drop.
Yeah, once the beach sand goes in, they're gonna be completely covered over again.
But if it's only 4 to 6 inches, that's not.
No, in that area, not in that area though. In
Oh,
that
okay.
area, yeah, no, in that area, it's a good 2 to 3 feet. I'm just talking about the rest of the entrance
Okay.
way.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
And I have one other question. The mat that you're putting down are you on the list to have a mat from the town, or is this a mat that you're
No,
putting
this is private, nothing to do with the town beaches.
down? And just out of curiosity, have you looked at what the town's going to use and sort of compared it with what you're going to use for a mat?
I have not, but we already had approval from years past
Oh.
for a mat that we use on a separate beach, and it was the mat you guys use, the Moby mats.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mat's great that you're putting it down. I just didn't know if it was like the same quality, and since you'll be,
Yep.
yes, okay.
These are very, very high end mats because we can't afford to use something low quality because we just keep replacing them, right?
Right. Okay, thank you.
Carol,
Yep.
questions?
Nope, no questions.
Denise?
I'm with Elisa on those steps. I don't like just burying those steps because just walking out onto it, I know the one is sticking out. I tripped on the blasted thing. I don't like just burying that step. How many steps are we talking about? How many steps down?
Well, it's just that one. We would never, I mean, it'd be impossible to get to the others. I mean, we can look at removing it if necessary. It's been there for.
I guess my other question would be, this mat that you're putting down, is the mat going to be as wide as that area and it'll cover the steps also?
No,
So
the map is right there. The mat is on this plan. You can see it, the thin dotted line.
Right.
Right in the middle. It's not even close, and it's only covering a small section of that that step there on the left hand side.
Yeah, I don't know. The leaving of the steps there bothers me. I think it's a tripping hazard. I think it could come uncovered again and somebody will trip on it. As I said, I tripped on it just going down to look. Because I
So
didn't know.
Denise, do
didn't
you
know it
want to
was there.
deny this until he comes back with a notice of intent to remove the steps? I mean,
yeah,
what would
that's-
you like to do?
I would like the steps removed or.
But it's
Well,
not
well,
part of the plan.
If I could just make a clarification, again, the steps have only been seen and recognized because of this washout. Prior to that, for the last 20 years, they've been under a couple of feet of sand. So, this isn't sort of a scenario where these things are going to be something people are tripping over on a normal basis. The only reason we have this situation is because of that freak storm event that caused this washout. So we have these sorts of things. For example, even on Onset Beach, there's stairs and walkways that are buried under the sand, and they're just there.
Dave, can I just, would it help if at the end you just say, if it uncovers again, they have to cover it up within 30 days or something to that effect? I mean, because they're going to be watching it, I would imagine. It's their beach.
I don't think Kevin's going to be very happy if they get exposed like that again, because that means he's just going to have wasted a lot of money on sand.
Yep.
But no, I understand the point. But again, I don't think it's really, in my opinion, a significant matter, because normally you're just never even going to see these things. It's just because of this event that you're even exposed, and removing it, that line of whatever is there is kind of holding back the rest of what's behind it as well.
Been there a long time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think in this particular instance, I don't see, that it's something that should be done. That's my opinion to the commission.
One other point for the beach grass, just so you can see that beach grass is there actually to prevent those steps ever being exposed again. So that's one of the main reasons they want us to plant that beach grass there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Denise, anything else?
No, it's okay.
Kwame?
I think it's a good project. I'm interested to find out what kind of machines they're gonna be using to move out this sand.
Kevin?
Well, it's
Can
going to
you
be a
answer
small.
that?
It has to be a small bobcat because there's as pointed out, it's really hard to get any machines down there. So it's not going to be a large bulldozer or anything along those lines. It's going to be a very small bobcat.
Yeah, and what kind of when you say sand analysis, right? Like, is that something that gets approved from David or from the town, or you know?
Yeah, so what they would do is provide our office with a sieve analysis showing that the sand that they're bringing in is a similar grain size to what exists. So once I would receive that, then I could say it was okay and then go from there. So it would just be through our office.
Excellent. That's it. Thank you.
So
I
the
thi-
sand does not come to Dave. Dave gets the report from the company that is going to provide the sand for this project.
That's right.
Can
The
I
whole-
ask
the whole
one more,
truckload, right?
one more question when you have a chance?
Okay, let me finish the rest of the board. Michael, any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Nicole?
No, thank you.
Denise, you had something else?
Right. If perchance these stairs come out through another storm and somebody trips and ends up getting injured, because this is a private beach, is Wareham involved in anything legally?
No. We're not property owners at all in this particular instance. So no, this would be entirely to do with the Hamilton Beach Association.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Is there anybody on the line that would like to comment on this project? Hearing none?
I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Denise, Kwame,
Yes.
Michael,
Yeah.
Sandy, the hearing is closed.
I'd like to take a stab at the, the order of conditions for the approval. I'd like to make a motion to approve the project with a standard order of conditions with the addition of the sand sift analysis has to be provided to us before any work is done. And what was the other thing you wanted, Dave?
Just that the sand all be placed above the mean high tide line for the project.
And that the sand be placed above the mean high tide line for the project.
That's the motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor? Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes,
Kwame,
Yes.
Michael.
Yep.
Andy, done. You have your project. Please, Kevin, please see Mr. Bichette before you start any work. The
Will
next
do. Thank
hearing.
you, guys.
Thank you. The next hearing, Wareham MA3 LLC has requested continuance. Can I have a motion to continue
Oh,
until
a
July 6th?
motion to continue to July 6th, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes, I
Second.
have a motion. I have a second. All in favor? Alyssa,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes,
Michael,
Yep.
Sandy. Yes, it's continued until July 6th. The next thing on the plate is, by the way, Mr. Barrett's project was supposed to continue on 6/1, and I don't see it on the agenda. Did he ask for a different continuance?
Yes, to July 6th.
July 6th. Okay. Okay. And Mr. Green is July 6th also, and nothing on the railroad. Now we have our enforcement orders. Mr. Bichette, will you handle Mark's dock?
Yes, this site is at 82 Avenue A, and this issue involves the construction of a dock, ramp, and float near the playground in Oakdale, which, as far as I can tell and know, this is not a permitted project, so we issued an enforcement order to the owner. He did email me and say he got the enforcement order, but was not able to make the meeting tonight and requested to be heard on July 6th. I did email him back and asked him to call me so we could discuss this because, you know, I need to make it clear to him that that really isn't going to be able to stay in place. So I don't want him to try to more or less try to continue this all through the summer so he can use the dock all summer, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I did not hear back from him. So I'll definitely try to make the point that he needs to be on board for July 6th. Otherwise, well, if it's the commission's wish, then he will get fined.
Well, he's going to get
Gonna
fined
get
anyway.
fined anyway, but I'm saying on a daily basis.
Mr. Bichette, if he doesn't make July 6th, does the town have any authority to go in there and physically remove the dock?
I would have to have Mr. Bowen answer that question because I don't want to speak with regards to whether or not the town has the authority to do that. I'd rather have him give us that response, but I certainly can ask him if it's the commission's wish.
If he doesn't make it to the July 6th meeting and we vote that he's in, or he is in violation, can we start fining him $300 a day until it gets removed?
Yes.
Okay, so I would, at this particular time, I would like to take a motion that we ratify the enforcement order at 82 Avenue A.
So move.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol, Denise,
yes,
Yes.
Kwame,
Yes.
Michael, myself. So it's been ratified that it's enforcement order, and if there is a no-show on 7/6, we will talk about the fines and the length of time to comply. We'll talk about that on July 6th meeting.
And also the commission's wish to have me speak to Mr. Bowen on the matter, is that also part of it?
yes. I think that's a good idea.
Yes, I believe, yes, please, Mr. Bichette, will you speak to Mr. Bowen about the removal of the dock if we do not get satisfaction on the July 6th meeting? I need a motion to authorize that discussion.
Move we authorize Mr. Pichette to speak with Mr. Bowen regarding the legality of removing the dock if he does not appear for the 7/6 meeting.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol, Denise,
yes.
Kwame, Michael.
Yes.
Cindy, yes. So let's see what Mr. Bowen has to say on it. On an enforcement order, we had 71 Onset Ave. When was that fire pit supposed to be removed?
I would have to go back and look, and I thought that
We give them some time because she needed her brother or something to help. her
yeah, I
with
think
the-
we did give a certain
Okay.
amount of time. I'd have to go back and just double check on the time frame on that. I don't happen to have that in front of me.
Okay,
Can
we
we,
now have certification of compliance.
if we had given her a specific amount of time to get the fireplace or whatever down, and it hasn't been taken down yet, can we start a $300 a day fine?
Nope, none until we get Mr. Bichette to confirm the time frame we gave her. Then we can have at a meeting talk about a continuing fine.
Okay,
I think what I'll do is again, reach out to her and ask her to attend the next meeting as well. That way, these things can be discussed with her present.
Thank you. Okay, certification of compliance.
this is a site at 119 Glen Charlie Road where there was an order of conditions to build a couple of additions and a deck. The applicant decided only to build the deck and not the additions, and now they're in the process of trying to sell the property, so they want to close out the order of conditions. So they did much less than what we had approved. So again, all they did was the deck on the back side of the house, or the water side of the house, which we had approved. So at this point, I would recommend the issuance of the certificate of compliance to close out the order of conditions.
I move that, are we ready, Sandy?
Yes,
I move that we accept the project as completed at this time for Mr.
Second.
McNair.
And vote to issue the
And
certificate.
vote to
of
issue
compliance.
that.
Vote to issue the certificate of compliance.
Second.
thank you. I have that motion. I heard a second. All in favor, Alyssa, Carol,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes,
Kwame,
Yes.
Michael, Sandy. Okay, so they'll get their certification of compliance so they can sell the house. The next thing is the letter of support for ZZM grant. I sent it out to everybody.
Yeah.
What bothered me is that we got it on Tuesday, June 7th, and they wanted a response by Monday, a couple days ago. Did anybody have, I'm willing to speak the board if they're willing to sign the support letter, even though it could be late, but at least it could be on file that the Conservation Commission supports the grant.
I
Did
think that-
anybody have any questions on the wording of the letter?
No. Did you?
Nope, I was fine. Did
I-
anybody not read the letter? Okay. So, I'd like to have a motion that Mr. Pichette submits this letter on our behalf as
So-
presented in the June 7, 2020 email from Ken Buckland.
So moved.
Second.
second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol, Denise,
Yes.
yes.
Kwame, Michael, Sandy. So Dave, can you take care of that for us?
Yes, indeed.
Since all you have to do is cut and paste and put the word Conservation Commission.
Right. Is that something you're going to sign as the chair?
Yes, but I don't know whether or not Ken wants it before I can sign.
Okay.
You can sign on my behalf.
Okay, I'll find out. Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting you're not here.
Then the next discussion was the Mass Audubon property, the seminary, a Great Nick, and the rumor of clearing the freshwater pond. Dave, you went out there and looked, right?
I haven't been there yet. I'm supposed to meet with some folks out there next week, but I did discuss the issue with both people from Mass Audubon and from the engineer that they use for their permitting. And they're both understanding that they really can't do anything until the Conservation Commission reviews and approves whatever proposal they put forth. So I think there was some thoughts by some folks who had heard some rumblings of what they might want to do over there and were nervous that they were just going to go out and do it. But that's not the case. They understand that there's a permitting procedure and are going to at some point submit an application for us to review.
Dave,
Yes.
on that, can we talk on that issue at this point or no?
If you have a question, sure.
I don't really have a question. It's more, I've spoken with people who are there and their feelings about this pond. I mean, it's been there like the stairs that we talked about earlier today. It's been there for probably close to 100 years. And it is spring fed, as well as the tidal aspect of it. And then there are rocks that people have put to channel the water if they could. I know that that's probably one reason people are going to say that it's already damaged and that letting the tide come through is more natural. But this is an ecosystem of its own at this point after this many years. And people have had, really good, I don't know if you know, there are several people who spend a lot of time at that property. I don't know.
And I
No,
really,
yeah, I know there's likely going to be some concerns from folks and so forth, but until they actually submit something, it's a little premature to decide or discuss the matter or the issues because we don't even know 100% what they're going to submit yet. We're just hearing rumors and not an official application. So if they do submit such a thing, then certainly the points you just made are valid points that the commission's going to have to consider.
and I'm sure Susan Taggart would be on site constantly to making sure that they're not touching it and letting us know if something happens.
And Paul.
Hmm?
And Paul. It's all P-tag. Never mind.
I've only heard from Susan,
Ah,
so,
Well, I spoke with Paul the other day.
okay. Now, the next one, is that it for Seminary? Because we have the superseding order of conditions, which I think we all got the notice on
Yes.
for BERE LLC.
Yes.
Dave, you want to talk about, they said, never mind. They said it's a good project, right? Now it comes up to
Well,
our.
they said it was a project that was permittable or meets the standards in their view.
For the
so in
state standards.
the state standard, yes, under the Wetlands Protection Act. So under the superseding order that they issued after their on-site visit and review, their determination, and to mention this as well, they did require some modifications of the plan to remove any of the work from the riverfront area, which the applicant agreed to do. So in their mind, they felt that it was now a permittable project. So that's why they issued the superseding order of conditions. I know Sandy's aware of this, other members may or may not be, but after some discussion, it was decided that since we denied the project in the first place, it would be worthwhile to appeal the DEP superseding order of conditions, which can be done. So an appeal was submitted within the time frame, and the time frame ended on Monday. So we really had to get this thing in prior to tonight's meeting. Otherwise, we would have missed the time frame. So I just wanted to let everybody know that action was taken, and now we'll just wait to see how that proceeds.
Also, I noted that they're still leaving in the 3 megawatt size, according to the DEP. And under the agricultural solar tariff guidelines, that it should still be 2 megawatts.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they arrived at their conclusion and why they left that in the way they did. But that's certainly something that can be raised during this next appeal process.
Because I don't think they have the authority to waive the 2 megawatts.
And that's a good point that we should include as part of our discussion, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Bowen's aware of it. Mr. Bowen's working on it for us and prepared the documentation that we use to appeal the DEP findings. I would like to, sorry.
Do we get to see like copies of any of the stuff that he sends out or on our
I
behalf?
haven't seen it yet.
I will forward you what was sent to DEP.
Thank you.
I did send that to you, Sandy, already.
And unfortunately, I had left by the time I got it.
Okay.
And I don't have a distribution on my phone.
I see. Okay, yeah, tomorrow I will send that to all the members, so you have that.
Okay.
including a copy of the $100 check that we got out of petty cash going to the post office. Thank you very much, Dave, for a money order. Either that or I would have had to write a check.
Okay.
I would like to, as after the fact, have approval to submit our appeal.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, Alyssa,
Yes.
Carol,
yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kwame,
Yes.
Michael, Sandy. Okay. Is there anything else?
Yes, I have two questions.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna give us a report on,
I am not going to give you a report, but I also wanted to know, I have been trying to find where our fines are listed. Where is what we're allowed to find covered under the bylaws?
I thought it's on a website.
I looked on the website. I've gone through all the other sections at the bottom of their section. It lists exactly what their fines are. I could tell you what the dog fines are for everything, but I can't find what the wetland.
Denise,
fines
I
is.
sent it out to everybody for approval. I'll resend you my list.
Okay.
Well,
'Cause I was looking-
just to answer Denise's question, so the fine amount is listed in the town bylaw.
Right,
Under the wetlands section. So within our own wetland bylaw, which is within the town bylaw, it's division 6 of the normal town bylaw.
right. That I have it here.
Yeah,
I read through this thing.
if you go to section 9 of that
Nine.
document, you will find where it says enforcement under section 9. And then one of those bullets will speak to how much we can fine per day.
All right, well, I'll read through it again, but I can't see it. And
You
I-
have section 9 in front of
I
you?
got section 9, right, enforcement in front of me. 1,
Yep.
no person shall remove. 2, the commission, its agents. Number 1, commission, da, 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 da. Any person who violates the decision bylaw may be ordered to restore the property to its original. But I don't see. Oh, there it, thank you, David. I found it.
Okay.
I can't tell you the number of times I read through that today. Okay, report on a hybrid meeting. If we were using or wanted to use room 27, then we would need to speak to Matt from the town tech. But in the room that we are using, we need to find our own person who is willing to run the hybrid side of the meeting because they do not have personnel that can do that for us on our meeting dates. So if we
Why
can find someone
27
willing,
and not 320?
what?
Why room 27 as opposed to the one we meet in 320?
Because he said if you used room 27, then Matt would be in charge of setting that up.
That would be in the town hall, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the room that we're using, it's the scheduling and staffing is by the WCTV, I guess. And they
That's
don't have
correct.
people who could handle our meeting. So
So
if,
even if we hold it in 27, doesn't WCTV record us?
but they don't handle the hybrid part of it,
But they don't handle the Zoom component.
correct? So
Okay.
Matt would be the one who would be recording and handling that. So we'd have to speak with him. He was not in the day that I was over at town hall, but I didn't think we wanted to change. I don't know if we wanted to change our meeting room or what you wanted to do.
Well, I'm more concerned about asking Matt to work well beyond his workday.
Well, if we
go
have a
on.
if we ever have a meeting where we're back in person, the meeting is going to need to be held in Selectmen's meeting room. That's where all the meetings are held. And part of the reason is for the size of the room to accommodate the members and those who might want to participate in person. WCTV has their equipment all over there.
Right.
it's just, I don't think it's something where we can just decide, oh, we're gonna meet somewhere else. I think we pretty much are gonna be meeting in that room. And I think that's where we should be meeting, just like all the other boards do. So I think until such time that there's WCTV personnel or some other personnel that's devoted to being able to run the hybrid meeting, I think we're a bit stuck with what we have. I mean, I don't know how else to.
I don't know. I mean, who could you get to do something like that? I mean, would it be like a high school student? I mean, he's willing to train whoever we find to do it.
Now,
Okay,
who's
Is it a
he's-
paying
who's-
job?
No, I
No.
don't believe so. It's a volunteer thing, I believe.
who is it that you said is asking you to do this? Who are you? Who?
John,
John Day from WCTV?
yes,
Okay, because he's the one that's doing the hybrid for the planning board.
right.
Okay,
Right,
so
and he
they,
said
so WCTV has personnel to do the planning board, but not conservation.
Correct. Due to scheduling and staffing issues.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know, I can't see that the town's gonna provide anybody, and if you don't have anybody steady, you know, what if the person who's doing it decides one day they can, or they have a conflict, then we're stuck with nobody to run the hybrid, you know, so it's,
Right.
I don't know, it's, to me, that's not the ideal way to proceed, until they can get something straightened out. I don't know, I think we need to stick with what we're doing right
Okay.
now.
is zoning hybrid or all in person?
It has to
Anybody?
be hybrid, it has to be hybrid, because that's what's required by the bylaw that was passed.
How about Board of Health
Board of Health is doing Zoom.
only?
I don't know,
How-
honestly, I don't know if they're doing hybrid or not, to be honest with you. So I couldn't answer that question,
How about the school board?
no idea. I don't know about any of the other boards other than planning, us, and zoning, really, because that's the ones I'm most directly connected
Mhm.
with.
So, well, we'll see what the governor says too in mid-July. Because I want to go back to in person.
You too.
Me too.
Well,
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
fine, that's
I-
fine, once, you know, if that decision is made and that's what we do, then great, as long as we are somehow gonna be in compliance with what the town meeting voted.
Yeah, I don't understand if we go back to in person, we don't have a hybrid and the town meeting specifically stated that we had to, how we handle that.
Well, question here, if the town requires us to like meet somehow, somewhere in person does, and you know, has, or at least some sort of hybrid, don't they have to accommodate us? Just a thought.
I would say yes. I mean, to me, that's the way it would need to be if it's a requirement. I mean, I don't
I mean,
know
If it's a
how else that
bylaw,
would work.
yeah, if it's a town bylaw, then somebody should be from the town should be providing that service.
Or making sure it is provided. Because we
Correct.
don't have any control over that.
Well, the only other thing is then we have to stay on Zoom because that's the only way that we can handle it at this point.
and if the governor says no more Zoom,
Oh, good God, my cat is, my cat is having fun here with my computer. Okay, I'm
so
back.
we'll wait to see. Thank you, Denise, for taking a look at it, because,
Okay.
yep,
I just have another David comment, and that is, I watched the MACC 101 evening lesson, and I thought it was really good. They brought up a lot of points, things that we don't. I mean, we're one of the very few who doesn't have a full-time person working besides Dave. They talked a lot about money. They talked about conservation restrictions, and it was a really good lesson. And I think that if you have the time to listen to 102, is that the next one, Dave?
Yeah, that's the next.
Yes,
At the end of the month, I think it's a good idea, to tell you that.
You know I want to sign up for that, right, Dave?
Yeah, so while we have everybody on the line, how many am I going to include for that? I know Nicole said she was interested. So
I
1,
am.
2, 3, 4. Michael?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's an
When is
evening
that,
thing.
Dave?
It's an evening
It's
thing.
June 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be fine for that. Thanks.
Okay.
Let me look here.
All right. Well, unless there's something else other than thank you, Alyssa Hurd, for hanging in there for all those years. I appreciate
Thank
your
Yeah,
time.
Alyssa, it's going to be not the same without you. So you
for
better
wetlands.
keep in touch.
Watch out, I might sit in the audience. Then you just never know. I'm on you.
I might not forgive you for this.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Second?
7:26.
And for anybody
I have a
who
motion.
might be around tomorrow, I'll have whatever documents that we approved ready to sign by 9:30 if you're in the neighborhood.
I'll be
Dana.
in.
Um,
What little puppy dog is that?
I know, huh?
Is somebody-
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I see-
Lisa,
Pet
thank
the
you.
kitty. Pet the kitty. All in
Sandy,
favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye.
no, no,
Aye.
no,
Aye.
Sandy,
Aye.
Sandy, I have a question.
Yes.
Sandy, so you're saying, I already took the ethics course already. I have to do it again?
How
many
long
years?
ago did you take it?
Less than 4 months ago.
Okay, bring the document to the Board of Selectmen's room, but you also need the open meeting certification.
I took, I gave a copy to the Board of Selectmen already.
On the open meeting?
No, the ethics training
Okay,
certificate.
no. You have a copy of the ethics. What you need is a confirmation of completing the open meeting law. You need that certification.
There's just a form to fill out.
No. You have to do the state.
That's the ethics one.
He's done the ethics. He has to do the open meeting.
Oh,
They're two different ones.
okay.
And that's on the same website, correct?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have a question where to go, contact the selectman's office and ask them for the link to the open meeting.
Okay,
Okay,
excellent.
thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Nicole, we'll
Thank you,
see you at
Sandy.
the next Board of Selectmen's meeting for your interview.
Okay. Do you have any
Thank
idea
you.
when that is?
Tuesday, in 2 weeks.
Okay.
You should get it. You should get an invitation from them. I'm looking
Okay.
on my
Oh,
calendar.
an invitation. Wow.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
This is exciting.
Okay, so on-
Making me
so
nervous.
our meeting. It looks like it's the 28th
Okay.
of June. All right.
Okay.
They start at 7:30, 7 o'clock, and they're on Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend and
Bye.
Thanks, you too.
Juneteenth.
Happy
Thank you,
Father's
everyone.
Day. Happy Father's Day to the fathers.
Yeah,
Kwame.
Father's
Okay.
Day.
Happy Father's Day, dads.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a
Thank
good night.
you.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right, good night.